Hello, everyone. My name is Madeline Shellgren. I'm OLC's Director of Community Strategy and Engagement, and I have the privilege in this short video to introduce you to IELOL Global. That's our Institute for Emerging Leadership and Online Learning Global program. Now, this is one of two of our leadership programs. You'll hear about the other one from one of my colleagues. But IELOL Global in particular is one of my favorite things that I get to do with the OLC. It is a growing community of leaders dedicated to collaborative global change efforts. So I do have some notes here, and I'm going to walk through these. Again, short clip, so I'll make it brief. But nevertheless, the program does feature 6 programmatic anchors. And one of my favorite things about the program is that they are all threaded together through an intentional tie and a weaving, if you will, with the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, linked here as well in our resources document. So one of my favorite personal things about the program is this intentional tie and our focus on storytelling. So you might ask, what does that mean, a focus on storytelling? But as I mentioned, we leverage the 17 Sustainable Development Goals as storytelling anchors. It's really important, and the recognition we've made through this program, both at a curricular level, but also a framework and a theoretical level, a partnership level, that what we do in online learning, we can't separate or silo from what happens around the world. Or I suppose we could, but it certainly wouldn't be beneficial for us to do so. So through this program, we're able to actually directly tie to and connect with through publications. For instance, we have a publication that was released through UNESCO, as well as important partnerships, so that what we're doing can actually connect with from a storytelling standpoint, from a partnership level, to broader change work happening around the world, of course, anchored in those 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So it creates a sense of shared language and, more importantly, a sense of shared vision, goals, and outcome for the future of a sustainable future for our world. So in addition to that, I have mentioned that already, but we actually as well developed a storytelling framework. One of the things that I know I personally struggled with as a growing or a developing change agent, if you will, is just how to talk about my work. How do I share it? What's significant? What's meaningful? What's important? What will be those features, those characteristics of my sharing or of the story that I tell that will help others pick up my work, help others understand it, and more importantly, relate to it and find themselves in or see themselves in it. And let's imagine, for instance, that I developed this amazing resource, and my goal is that folks can use it. It's open, it's free, but how do you get it out there, right? And more importantly, what do you say about it so folks understand its utility in the world to help advance change work? That could be a facilitator's document, that could be a publication, that could be a framework, you name it. That's what this particular framework in this program does help to advance and create space for, is genuinely helping to advance change work. So that framework is genuinely one of my favorite things that we have created over the last few years, because it helps us position ourselves and each other as storytellers in this work, regardless of our experience, regardless of where we're at in our careers. So the program's now in its 4th year, and our IELOL Global ecosystem has advanced quite a bit, both in terms of scope and scale. So we just welcomed our 3rd cohort into the 2022 IELOL Global Core Program. That's our core leadership program, a multiple-month experience. And we then welcomed an even larger and more globally diverse community into our Global Leadership Impact Summit, one of my favorite events. It is a free event that we run every single year. And we bring leaders from around the world to talk about change work, and to have an important summit around where we're at as a field and where we know we need to go and what we need to do to get there, of course. And lastly, we have already successfully ran our first regional colloquy. And so looking forward to more of those coming forward. But the ecosystem-wise, regional colloquy helps us to zoom in a particular region, really amplify the change work happening within that space. And then finally, we actually have established tremendously new and important partnerships and relationships around the world, and with a variety of entities around the world. That includes institutions, organizations, and even government level structures. And our goal, of course, is to advance and support this exciting and impactful program, but more importantly, the work that each and every one of you really are truly doing, and create opportunities for further connections and collaboration. So together we are collectively, ourselves, our partners, and of course our cohort and our alumni are working to advance the following goals. There's 3 of them. 1, to develop and share examples of impactful cross-institutional and regional collaboration through global coalitions. So we truly are moving to build a coalition together. So a grouping of individuals really committed to this work. And I think there's nothing more, I don't want to say empowering, but empowering might be the word, right? But when you're surrounded by folks that have that same, maybe not the exact same vision, the exact same mission, the exact same local goals, but collectively we realize that we're not alone in this desire to drive forward better and more quality, more accessible, more inclusive, more equitable educational futures. It's infectious, right? You're surrounded by other individuals who want that same thing. We're all going about it in different ways. We all have different experiences thus far in engaging in that work. But together through this program and through this ecosystem of IELOL Global, we're able to work together genuinely to do so. And I love that, right? So we're building global coalitions for change work. 2, we are building global communities of practice around transformative and sustainable digital transformation that collect and amplify international perspectives. So this is one of the things that's really important to us, is that we recognize there is no global standard, if you will, for how we do this work, that we each have an opportunity, and in fact, I might argue a responsibility to learn from one another if we really do truly care about that sustainable future I just talked about. And we tremendously value the voices around the world that we engage with. And then 3, to curate and disseminate participant-created artifacts, use cases, and other resources that contribute to connected and aligned global change work. So it's not enough just to get together and talk about it, right? We need to do work, create things to advance that work, and share those things with the world. So we get together and collect people's stories, resources, you name it, in order to advance this work. Truly, it's our belief that if we change the way we think about stories, share our work, we have an opportunity, if we in a window, if you will, to actually help advance change work around the world. And of course, that doing so together gets us there that much quicker to a more diverse, inclusive, accessible, just, and equitable educational future. There are a series of resources I'll just point out here in our resources doc, a link to the IELOL Global homepage. We have an OLC Global cohort generated asset page, so you can see our OLC Global, where all of our resources are shared openly for free. Our Global Leadership Impact Summit page, so you can go ahead and check out that event I mentioned. Regional Colloquy homepage, so you can check out that event I mentioned as well. A program syllabus for IELOL Global for 2022, so you can get a sense of the program and what we're all about. As well as a link to contact us should you wish to get involved. And the invitation is there, a warm invitation. So regardless, I'm at my time. So I just say a huge thank you and hope to see you around the conference.